I'd like to be Pope. That would be my number one choice.
So, Donald Trump wants to be the next Pope. Or at least, that's what he joked. Just days before the Catholic Church prepares to choose a new leader. And if that wasn't controversial enough, he also posted a viral AI-generated image of himself dressed in full papal robes, triggering a massive wave of reactions online. Everything from laughs, to outrage, to deep offense. Let's break down what happened, why this isn't just a meme, and how it's intersecting with a very real and sacred moment for Catholics worldwide. It all started when a reporter asked Trump a fairly straightforward question.
As Pope? I'd like to be Pope. That would be my number one choice. No, I don't know. I have no preference. I must say we have a cardinal that happens to be out of a place called New York who's very good. So we'll see what happens.
He followed up by saying he didn't really have a preference, but gave a vague shout out to a cardinal from New York. The comment might have seemed like standard Trump humor to some, mixing bravado with absurdity, but what happened next sent the story spiraling. Shortly after the remark, Trump or someone on his team posted an AI-generated image of himself dressed as the Pope, complete with white robes, ornate gold cross, and the signature papal mitre. The image spread immediately across Twitter, now X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Some users thought it was hilarious, a classic Trump move. Others, especially critics and Catholics, didn't think it was funny at all. In fact, many found it deeply offensive, especially considering the timing. The image was posted just days before the papal conclave, the formal, deeply sacred process of selecting the next pope after the death of Pope Francis. The backlash was fast and intense. One user wrote, "This is disrespectful to the Church and to God himself. He's literally the Antichrist." Another said, "This is disgusting and entirely offensive. Republicans really voted for that?" Others accused Trump of narcissism, blasphemy, and even trying to mock one of the most sacred traditions in Catholicism. One of the more pointed responses read, "How dare you mock the process we Catholics go through to pick a new pope? That is what Trump and his MAGA followers are all about: disrespect, meanness, and stupidity." And that wasn't just from liberal circles. Some lifelong Catholics, including conservatives, said the AI post and the joke crossed a line. For them, this wasn't a punchline, it was a sacrament being turned into spectacle. Just when the drama seemed to peak, Senator Lindsey Graham decided to stir the pot a bit more, with a tongue-in-cheek endorsement of Trump's papal ambitions. On X, formerly Twitter, Graham posted, "Excited to hear that President Trump is open to the idea of being the next pope. This would truly be a dark horse candidate, but I would ask the papal conclave and Catholic faithful to keep an open mind. Watching for white smoke. Trump 2028. Of course, this was sarcasm, but depending on who you ask, it either landed as clever satire or just poured more gas on the fire. Let's be clear, Trump has a long history of pushing boundaries, saying the outrageous, and using religion to stir attention. But this time, the timing made it especially sensitive. The papal conclave is not a sideshow, it's one of the most sacred events in the Catholic Church. On May 7th, 133 cardinals from around the world will gather in the Sistine Chapel beneath Michelangelo's iconic fresco to elect the next pope. The process is held in complete secrecy, with cardinals locked inside the chapel until a decision is made. Smoke rises from the chimney, black if no one is chosen, white when a new pope is elected. It's an ancient tradition filled with symbolism, prayer, and reverence. To many Catholics, Trump inserting himself into that moment with AI cosplay and jokes is seen as both disrespectful and performative, using faith for clout. So was this just another Trump joke gone too far, or is there something deeper here? It's worth noting that Trump has often leaned into religious imagery, even as his actual knowledge of theology is famously thin. During his presidency, he walked to a church for a photo op with a Bible. He's referenced God, prayer, and spiritual warfare, usually in ways that fire up his base while confusing religious leaders. For some supporters, the Pope joke was just that, a joke. For others, it's yet another sign of Trump treating sacred things as campaign props. And the AI angle adds a new twist. How long until political figures use AI, not just for memes, but for actual disinformation wrapped in religious imagery? In the end, this moment, Trump joking about being Pope, the viral image, the backlash, is bigger than a meme. It's about the tension between celebrity politics, AI culture, and deeply rooted religious traditions. And as the Catholic Church enters one of its holiest rituals, the selection of a new pope, it's clear that many are asking for more reverence and less reality TV drama. Will Trump ever apologize or clarify the post? Highly unlikely, but the backlash shows that even for someone who's built a brand on pushing limits, there are still some lines that matter to people.